David Brooks here from Retire Smart, answering the question, what do retirees need to know about tax changes in 2025? The good news is we still have the same tax legislation that went into effect in 2017 called the Tax and Job Act, otherwise known as the Trump tax cuts. There's some slight inflation adjustments to the brackets here in 2025. So let's take a look at those tax brackets. So here we actually have 2025's tax brackets. We also put up what is estimated to be 2026's tax brackets. However, there is a very high probability that the Tax and Job Act, the lower marginal rates, get extended beyond 2025 with the most recent election outcomes. That is not the law today. We just want to make sure you understand what changes and what differences are. Now, because of Trump's tax cuts, one of the biggest changes that happened that some people still don't understand is how big standard deduction is. A married couple will now get a $30,000 standard deduction in 2025. And if you're over 65, as many retirees are, you're getting an additional $1,600 per person, or over $3,200 if you're a married couple, and additional if you're a blind, veteran, etc. Now, what we want to focus on is the brackets most baby boomers are going to fall into, whether they're still working or in retirement. So the bulk of retirees, if they're married, are in the 12% tax bracket. And that goes all the way up to taxable income of about $97,000 after taking your deductions. So you could have an income of about $127,000. That's a little higher than the average retiree has, even with two folks in the household. So the 12% is the marginal bracket most people are going to find themselves. However, their effective rate is typically going to be in the high single digits without any tax planning. If you're still working and not yet retired, or you're going to be retiring in a few years, most dual income families, again, focusing on a married couple here for this video, we're able to go all the way up to about $206,000 and stay in the 22% tax bracket today. The good news is if you have more income than that and you go over that, and we have many couples that are in the $200,000 to $400,000 income range, it's just 2 cents more. 22 goes to 24. And we have a progressive tax system, so you pay 10 cents on the dollar for the first 23,000 and change, then 12% from 23,000 up to 97,000, then 22, and then 22.4 only on the portion that falls in that bracket. So even someone that fully fills up the 24% bracket, their effective rate is going to be in the middle teens, most likely. Here's the good news. We can utilize proactive tax strategies to use these lower brackets as long as they exist. So whether it's through 2025 and they sunset, which is the current law, because 2026, 12 becomes 15, 22 becomes 25, 24 becomes 28. So we do believe it does get extended. Again, it's not extended as of the recording of this video. However, I'll point out the brackets are scheduled to shrink, the actual amount of income you can get in each bracket. So a married couple today that is earning a good living, let's say we have a married couple that have great jobs, $350,000 in dual income. Today, that would be right in the middle of the 24% tax bracket. If you're making $350,000 after this bill sunsets, which it's scheduled to next year, $350,000 now puts you not in 28%, but 33% tax bracket. That is a massive increase in taxes, and this is what a lot of people are headed for without proper planning. So what can retirees do? Well, if you're blessed to understand where your taxes are and have a proactive tax planning team, if you had, let's just say, you had $80,000 after deductions show as your taxable income and you're in retirement, we have about $16,000, $17,000 where we can do Roth conversions and only have to pay 12 cents on the dollar, so that we don't have to wait and pay 15 cents on the dollar when you take required minimum distributions out of those retirement accounts at some point in the future. Again, I believe these tax rates will stick around for a few more years. We'll wait and see what laws come out. But why would you not take advantage of lower tax rates that are guaranteed you can pay today to lower your tax liability for tomorrow? On top of that, if we take this action now, before you get to where you're having to take too large of distributions due to what's called RMDs, Those RMDs often push retirees over income thresholds not on the board today. What we're talking about is what's called IRMA penalties. These are income thresholds you'll be penalized to pay for access to Medicare Part B and Part D. And one IRA distribution from one spouse will make both spouses pay that penalty each year going forward. This can add between $80,000 and $100,000 in additional Medicare expenses, additional taxes effectively, on your retirement income without proper planning. It doesn't have to be that way. If you'd like to find out how proactive tax planning can lower your lifetime tax liability through retirement by over $100,000 for our average client, click on the link below and schedule just a quick 15-minute discovery call and we'll explain the process to you. Thanks for watching.